Welcome, chosen ones, to this transformative journey. If you've ever felt like you're waiting for something bigger to happen in your life, then you're exactly where you need to be. In today's video, we're diving deep into divine timing, spiritual breakthroughs, and the incredible transformation that awaits you. The universe has aligned this moment for you right now, and everything you've been praying for is closer than you think. So, if you're ready to step into your divine purpose, to unlock the mysteries of your true potential, then make sure you stay with us through the entire video. It's not by accident that you're here. God's plan for your life is unfolding now, and you're about to witness miracles. Chosen one, I want to take you into a deep and often hidden aspect of the spiritual realm. One that many people are unaware of, but that can have profound effects on your life. Spiritual warfare. It's not always visible, and it doesn't always come with obvious signs. But there are forces at work in this world that seek to destroy, confuse, and derail those who are aligned with divine purpose. This chapter reveals an attack that was planned against you, an attack using dark spiritual practices aimed at bringing destruction to your life, both spiritually and physically. Someone close to you, someone you likely trusted, used your image, your very photo, as a tool in witchcraft, hoping to tear down the progress you've made, to disconnect you from your divine calling, and to bring chaos into your life. You may not have known it at the time, but this attack was no accident. It was meticulously planned, involving rituals and spiritual practices that used your image as a direct link to your energy. The individual who orchestrated this dark ritual, hoping to manipulate your life, invoked powerful forces, calling upon forces of darkness with the intention of causing you harm. The ritual was aimed at affecting your spirit and your physical well-being, hoping to create destruction where peace had once been. But there is something you need to know. This attack was met with divine protection beyond even the expectations of those who performed the ritual. What seemed like a well-crafted plan, one that they believed would have lasting consequences, was completely neutralized by the divine protection around you. Heaven, in its wisdom, immediately saw the attack and responded with unseen forces that not only shielded you from harm, but also set into motion a divine defense system that no dark force could penetrate. What the enemy meant for harm, God turned into victory, and you were protected, not just physically, but spiritually, in a way that can only be described as miraculous. I want you to understand the gravity of what was happening behind the scenes. This wasn't a simple act of malice, it was an intentional spiritual assault designed to attack your very being. The person who used your photo to perform witchcraft understood the power of your energy and sought to use it for their own selfish purposes. They understood that your spiritual essence was potent and capable of creating positive change in the world. So, in an attempt to disrupt your journey and stop the good you were doing, they turned to dark arts, invoking negative spiritual forces to connect with your essence through the photo you had unknowingly provided. Using an image or a personal object to invoke witchcraft is an age-old practice, known as sympathetic magic, a practice that uses an individual's personal energy or image to influence their life. In this case, your photo was used as a portal for these dark energies to attach themselves to you, hoping to corrupt your spirit, confuse your path, and lead you into despair. They believed that by focusing on your image, they could gain control over you. But what they didn't know was that their powers were no match for the divine protection surrounding you. As they performed their rituals, invoking dark spirits, they had no idea that their plan would backfire. What they thought was a simple act of manipulation quickly became the catalyst for a spiritual intervention that was beyond their control. The dark forces they tried to command were immediately neutralized by the light surrounding you, and heaven responded swiftly, sending out angelic protection to prevent any harm from reaching you. Chosen one, let me remind you of something important. Your protection is not passive. The divine protection that surrounds you operates with divine intelligence. It detects threats long before you are aware of them and responds with divine force to neutralize them. You are shielded by forces far greater than you can comprehend, and when these attacks arise, God's protection system doesn't just block them, it actively works to neutralize the effects of these dark energies. The spiritual protection around you isn't a simple shield, it's an intelligent force, working automatically, without you having to consciously fight. The minute your photo was used in that dark ritual, heaven responded with spiritual countermeasures, dismantling the attack before it could even manifest fully. The angels and divine forces assigned to you immediately recognized the danger and moved swiftly to block it, ensuring that no harm could touch you. What is so powerful about this divine protection is that it isn't based on your awareness. Even when you don't realize an attack is happening, heaven is always working to protect you. The dark rituals, the energy they tried to cast upon you, were analyzed by the divine protection system, and any attempt to harm you was returned to the source, neutralized before it could manifest. No weapon formed against you will prosper, and this is one of the many ways God's protection is working to keep you safe, regardless of the attacks of the enemy. This kind of protection is not just a one-time event, it's an ongoing system that operates at all times. You are constantly surrounded by divine beings, sent to guard you, guide you, and ensure that no harm can come to you. Even in the darkest of moments, when spiritual forces attempt to disrupt your journey, heaven's protection ensures that you remain on course, no matter the threats that arise. When the witchcraft attack occurred, it wasn't just the angels standing guard. Your divine protection system responded immediately, launching into action and working seamlessly to ensure that no energy from the dark rituals could attach itself to you. Heaven's immediate intervention in your life is a reminder that you are seen and known by God, and His protection is active, strong, and capable of shielding you from any harm. You might not always be aware of it, but there are forces at work around you that actively ensure your safety and spiritual alignment. These divine forces are watching over you, guiding your steps, and ensuring that no weapon, whether spiritual or physical, can disrupt your divine purpose. The attack you faced was not only blocked but also counteracted by the divine light and energy surrounding you. Heaven responded with a force that no witchcraft could overcome, and you were shielded from harm, spiritually, mentally, and physically. God's protection is not just about keeping you safe from attacks, it's about ensuring that you walk in alignment with His will, no matter the obstacles or spiritual attacks that arise. You are covered, protected by divine forces that go far beyond human comprehension. And as you continue to walk in your divine calling, that protection will grow stronger and more evident in your life. Chosen one, as we continue, I want you to fully grasp the reality of what unfolded behind the scenes. The attack that was launched against you wasn't just a random act of malice, it was a targeted, strategic effort. Someone close to you used your image to perform witchcraft, a dark ritual designed with the sole intent of causing you spiritual and physical harm. What they didn't know, however, was that they had underestimated the power of your divine protection. Heaven responded swiftly, neutralizing their efforts before they could gain any ground, and this divine intervention was far beyond their expectations. The witchcraft ritual, involving the use of your photo, was meant to establish a spiritual link, a connection between the dark forces and your very being. Your photo was used to create a direct spiritual connection, a portal through which these negative energies could enter your life and begin their destructive work. The person who orchestrated this attack likely believed they had found a foolproof way to disrupt your peace, your purpose, and even your physical well-being. They believed that by invoking these dark rituals and using your image as a spiritual anchor, they could manipulate and control your fate. But what they couldn't have anticipated was the divine safeguard surrounding you. Heaven's protection system is not something you have to actively manage. It operates automatically, guarding you from forces that you may not even be aware of. The spiritual attack you were under was detected immediately by these divine forces, and they neutralized the attack before it could even begin to affect you. What the enemy had intended to sow, God turned into victory, keeping you safe and preserving your spiritual integrity. This intervention wasn't just about blocking an attack. It was a reminder that you are never alone in your spiritual walk. Heaven is constantly at work, ensuring that no harm can come to you, especially when you are walking in alignment with your divine purpose. The divine protection around you is not passive. It is an active force that fights on your behalf, working to keep you safe from the unseen dangers that might arise, whether physical or spiritual. Witchcraft, while often dismissed in modern society, is a deeply rooted spiritual practice that seeks to manipulate unseen forces for personal gain. The ritual performed against you was designed to connect with dark forces, using your photo as the spiritual link to target your energy. Witchcraft rituals can range from simple spells to elaborate, complex ceremonies that call upon negative entities to influence a person's life. These forces are real and have the power to affect the mind, body, and spirit, which is why such spiritual attacks can have such profound consequences if left unchecked. The person who performed this ritual understood the power of your image, your essence, and your spiritual energy. By using your photo, they hope to invoke negative forces to attack your life on a personal level. They believe that by using your likeness, they could control your fate, sever your spiritual connection, and bring about destruction. Their mistake, however, was underestimating the strength of the divine forces that protect you. It's important to recognize that these kinds of attacks, though they might appear to be powerful or dangerous, are always subject to God's authority. There is no power greater than that of the divine, and while dark forces may try to exert influence, they can never override the protection and guidance that heaven has provided for you. God's protection system is not something that can be defeated. The forces that tried to manipulate you through witchcraft met an immovable shield of divine power that completely neutralized their efforts. The protection that surrounds you is far beyond the capacity of any spiritual force to breach. It's not just about keeping negative energies away, it's about actively dismantling any attack before it has a chance to gain traction. The minute the ritual began, heaven took action. Your spiritual defense system, which is intricately designed by God, immediately recognized the threat, analyzed its structure, and neutralized it before it could cause harm. This protection is divinely intelligent, and it responds with precision and power, ensuring that no spiritual force can disrupt the divine plan for your life. One of the most remarkable aspects of divine protection is that it operates automatically. You don't have to consciously fight against these attacks. God has equipped you with a system of spiritual defense that responds on its own, based on the strength of the attack. When this witchcraft ritual was performed, your divine protection immediately identified the origin of the attack and sent out the necessary spiritual countermeasures. This isn't a passive shield, it's an active force that ensures your protection is always in place, even when you are unaware of the dangers that surround you. This is why it's crucial to understand that you are always under divine protection. Whether or not you are aware of the specific spiritual battles being fought on your behalf, God has equipped you with a protection system so powerful that even the most skilled witch or spiritual adversary cannot penetrate it. Your divine protection operates at a level that ensures your spiritual and physical well-being, keeping you on course, no matter the forces that might try to divert you. I want you to understand something profound. Not only was the attack neutralized, but the energy from that witchcraft ritual was returned to the attackers. One of the divine principles at work here is divine justice. The law that whatever is sent out into the world returns, often multiplied. The energy they tried to direct toward you was returned to them with force, and the consequences of their actions were devastating. The witch who attempted to manipulate you through this dark ritual suffered the consequences of the energy they tried to harness. Not only did they face spiritual repercussions, but the physical manifestations of their actions began to take a toll on them. Their health began to deteriorate, and their life started to unravel as a result of the forces they tried to control. They did not realize that, in attempting to harm you, they were inviting destruction upon themselves. Divine justice ensures that those who attempt to harm the protected will face the consequences of their actions. The person who paid for the ritual also faced significant personal consequences. The energy they tried to manipulate was returned to them, causing disruption in their life, relationships, and even their finances. The divine system of protection that guards you ensured that their actions backfired. And they are now facing the results of their attempt to disrupt God's plan for your life. This is the power of divine justice. What the enemy intends for harm will always return to them, and no amount of dark energy can overcome the will of God. You are protected, not just from physical harm, but from the spiritual forces that would seek to disrupt your path. Heaven is always working on your behalf, and the enemy's schemes will never succeed when they are up against the power of divine protection. Chosen one. Now that we've explored the hidden attack and the divine protection that responded to it, it's time to dive deeper into the spiritual defense system that protects you. Your spiritual protection isn't passive. It's an intelligent, active force that constantly monitors and shields you from harm, ensuring that nothing disrupts your divine path. This system works automatically, without you needing to consciously fight, and it responds to spiritual threats with divine precision and power. Today, I want to take you through how this protection works, how it operates, and why it's so powerful that even the most skilled spiritual attacks cannot break it. When we think of protection, we often imagine a simple shield that deflects harm, but your spiritual defense system is far more complex than that. It operates on a level of divine intelligence, recognizing threats before they even reach you, and neutralizing them in ways that you may never see. This system has been designed by God, crafted to defend, guide, and ensure that you are always aligned with your divine purpose. At its core, your protection is a divine safeguard, a force that goes to work every moment, without you needing to be aware of the dangers around you. Your spiritual defense is always active, scanning for potential attacks, identifying threats, and acting to neutralize them before they can affect you. The beauty of this protection is that it works seamlessly, often without your knowledge, ensuring that no harm can penetrate your spiritual boundaries. One of the most remarkable things about your protection system is that it operates automatically. You don't have to actively fight against spiritual attacks or constantly guard your energy. Your protection is always in place, and it is continuously monitoring your spiritual and physical environments. This system doesn't require you to be spiritually aware of every attack. It works on a higher level of divine intelligence, designed by God to automatically defend you from any forces that attempt to disrupt your path. The moment a spiritual attack arises, your defense system identifies it immediately, analyzes the threat, and neutralizes it with divine force. This isn't just about blocking the attack, it's about responding to it with proportional force. The protection you carry responds directly to the strength of the attack, ensuring that no matter how powerful the forces trying to harm you may be, they will not succeed. When the attack you faced was launched through witchcraft, for example, your protection system detected the ritual immediately. It knew the moment that your image was used to create a spiritual connection, and without hesitation, it went into action. The attack was neutralized before it could even begin to take hold, and the energy used in the ritual was redirected and returned to the source. The spiritual forces attempting to manipulate you couldn't even get past the first line of defense. This is the intelligence of your divine protection at work. Now, let's talk about how your protection system identifies threats. This system operates on a level of spiritual intelligence that goes beyond human understanding. It sees beyond the physical, recognizing threats that might appear subtle or disguised, and it can differentiate between energies that are aligned with God's will and those that seek to cause harm. The protection system knows when something is out of alignment with God's divine plan for your life, and it responds with force to correct it. Whether it's an emotional attack, like someone attempting to manipulate or hurt you with their words, or a spiritual assault like witchcraft, your defense system can detect the origin of the attack. It analyzes the structure of the energy being sent toward you, and it recognizes the spiritual link just as it recognized when your image was used for the ritual. Once the threat is detected, the system works to dismantle it by neutralizing its effects and returning the energy to its source. What's so powerful about this protection is that it doesn't wait until the attack has fully taken hold. Your defense system works in real time, responding to threats before they can manifest in your life. It prevents negative energies from affecting you, and if the attack is strong, it will amplify the response, ensuring that the forces of darkness are completely neutralized. In Psalm 34:7, we are reminded, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." This verse speaks to the protective presence of God's angels, who are always at work to protect you. Your guardian angels are part of this defense system, working to shield you from any harm and to guide you through moments of spiritual danger. One of the most important aspects of your divine protection system is that it isn't simply reactive, it is proactive. It doesn't just wait for an attack to occur, it's always on alert, always preparing for potential threats, and always moving to neutralize them. This proactive nature ensures that you are never blindsided by spiritual attacks or forces that may try to disturb your peace. It is always on guard, actively defending your spirit and your purpose. Think of it as a spiritual alarm system that's constantly tuned into the unseen forces around you. If there's even the slightest hint of negative energy approaching, your protection system detects it, responds to it, and removes the threat. This system is always in motion, ensuring that you remain spiritually aligned with God's will and that no harm can touch you. When the witchcraft ritual was performed against you, for example, your spiritual alarm system was already activated. As soon as the negative energy tried to connect with you through your image, the system analyzed the energy and neutralized the attack before it could manifest. Your guardian angels, as part of this system, were also actively involved, ensuring that no harm came to you. One of the most powerful aspects of your spiritual protection system is that it doesn't just block attacks, it returns them to the source, often multiplied. This principle is an inherent part of divine justice. When someone tries to use dark forces to attack you, that energy cannot stay with you. The system is designed to redirect that energy back to its origin, neutralizing the harmful effects and ensuring that you are protected from any lasting impact. This is exactly what happened with the witchcraft attack against you. The energy sent your way was immediately recognized, analyzed, and returned to the source. The attackers didn't realize that in trying to harm you, they were setting themselves up for a spiritual backlash. The very forces they tried to control turned against them, and the consequences of their actions came back to them with amplified force. This is a direct result of the divine protection that surrounds you. It neutralizes the attack and ensures that no harm reaches you, while simultaneously restoring balance and justice in the spiritual realm. Chosen one, as we continue, I want you to further understand the deep intricacies of how your divine protection operates and why it is so powerful that it can completely neutralize any spiritual attack. The protection you carry is not just about shielding you from harm in the physical world. It is an intelligent and forceful system designed to keep you aligned with your divine purpose, no matter what spiritual forces may try to disrupt that alignment. Your protection system is not passive. It doesn't simply create a shield around you. It actively detects, neutralizes, and redirects spiritual attacks to ensure that you are always walking in divine alignment, spiritually and physically. It is a dynamic and highly responsive system designed to keep you safe, to guide you, and to ensure that you move forward in your purpose without the interference of negative forces. Let's explore the deeper layers of how this protection works. What makes your protection system so effective is the divine intelligence behind it. It is not just about blocking negative energy, it is about understanding the structure of the threat and responding with exact precision. When an attack occurs, the system immediately identifies where the threat originates, analyzes its nature, and applies the appropriate response to neutralize it. This is a highly sophisticated system. It doesn't just block an attack, it disarms it completely, often before you even realize it was happening. When the witchcraft ritual was performed against you, your protection system detected the manipulation immediately. The moment the energy was being directed toward you through the use of your image, the system engaged. It didn't wait for the full force of the attack to manifest. It recognized the spiritual link and intercepted it. The dark forces that were invoked were immediately neutralized, and their energy was sent back to them with amplified force, leaving them to deal with the consequences of their actions. Your divine protection system works with the wisdom and discernment of God's plan, ensuring that every attack is met with a proportional response. It doesn't just shield you from the physical effects of an attack, it redirects the negative energy, returning it to its source, where it is often multiplied. This principle of divine justice ensures that the forces of darkness can never truly succeed in their attempts to harm you. What they meant for destruction is returned, and often the consequences are much more severe for the ones who tried to manipulate your path. One of the most remarkable aspects of your protection system is the way it works with divine justice. The moment a spiritual attack is detected, the energy of the attack is analyzed, and it is returned to the attacker in a way that reestablishes balance. God's justice ensures that no harm can be done without consequences, and this protection system enforces that principle on your behalf. When the witch performed the ritual using your photo, they believed they were manipulating the energy for their own gain. However, they failed to recognize the power of the divine system you are aligned with. The system not only blocked the attack but redirected the energy, sending it back to them in a way that caused harm to them rather than you. The individual who orchestrated the attack, as well as the one who paid for the ritual, faced severe consequences that were set in motion by the very actions they took. This is divine justice at work. When the forces of darkness attempt to sow harm, that energy is returned to them, often in a way that brings about their own undoing. This divine safeguard is a reminder that God's protection operates on a level of spiritual authority that nothing can overpower. The forces that try to manipulate you or disrupt your purpose are met with a force stronger than anything they can summon. Divine protection isn't just about standing in the way of harm. It's about ensuring that those who try to harm the protected face the consequences of their own actions. This is why no weapon formed against you will prosper, because heaven is actively working on your behalf, ensuring that all spiritual attacks are neutralized and justice is served. One of the key components of your protection system is the proportional response. When an attack is detected, the system doesn't simply block it. It evaluates the strength of the threat and applies the appropriate counteraction. If the attack is mild, the system responds with minimal force, ensuring that the threat is neutralized before it can affect you. However, when the attack is more intense, or when dark forces attempt to use strong rituals like the one aimed at you, the system amplifies its response, sending back the energy with multiplied force. This response ensures that no harm can penetrate your defenses and that justice is served to those who attempt to cause you harm. This is why your protection system is so powerful. It doesn't just react to the attack. It actively measures and neutralizes the threat, returning the energy to its source in a way that often causes greater consequences for the attacker. This ensures that you remain unharmed and the balance of spiritual justice is maintained. Your divine protection system works at an intelligent level, responding appropriately to whatever threat is presented, ensuring that you are shielded and that no harm can reach you. This protection doesn't just extend to witchcraft rituals or negative spiritual forces. It also works on a personal level, protecting you from toxic relationships, negative environments, and influences that could pull you away from your divine purpose. Your protection system is constantly monitoring your life, ensuring that you are spiritually aligned and spiritually safe at all times. This divine intervention is not just about keeping you safe from physical harm. It's about shielding your spirit from anything that could derail your calling, your growth, or your destiny. As you continue to grow in this understanding, you will begin to realize that the more aligned you become with God's will, the more active your spiritual protection becomes. You may start to notice more of these divine interventions, those moments when you are guided to avoid certain situations. Your intuition becomes sharper, and you begin to sense when something is spiritually off. Your guardian angels and divine protection system work in harmony to keep you aligned with your highest purpose. And the more attuned you become to God's guidance, the more you will notice the ways in which you are being divinely protected. There is a profound peace that comes with knowing that you are divinely protected. It's not just about the absence of danger, it's about the confidence that no matter what happens, you are guided, shielded, and loved by the highest spiritual forces. As you continue to walk in your divine calling, you will feel more attuned to the protection that surrounds you, and more confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges, knowing that you have a spiritual defense system that is constantly working to keep you safe and aligned with God's will. Chosen one, as we continue this journey through the realms of divine protection, it's time to understand the profound nature of divine justice. We've seen how your protection system responded swiftly to the attack, dismantling it before it could harm you. But divine protection is not just about keeping you safe. It is also about ensuring that those who seek to harm you face the consequences of their actions. In this chapter, we will explore how the witchcraft attack that was launched against you not only failed but backfired, leading to devastating consequences for the very ones who attempted to manipulate your path. When you understand the power of divine justice, you realize that no spiritual attack ever goes unanswered. In the spiritual realm, there are laws in place that govern how energy flows, how actions are returned, and how the forces of good and evil interact. Those who seek to use dark forces to manipulate, control, or harm others are not exempt from the consequences of their actions. The energy they send out always returns, and often with amplified force. This chapter will reveal how the witchcraft ritual, intended to cause harm and disruption in your life, was completely neutralized. Not only did it fail, but the energy behind the attack was returned to the attackers, resulting in severe consequences. Divine justice ensured that those who sought to manipulate you through witchcraft would face the repercussions of their actions. This is the law of the spiritual realm. What you sow, you will reap. And for those who attempt to sow harm, the harvest is not only destruction for the target but themselves as well. When the ritual was cast, the forces involved believed they had found the perfect method to disrupt your life. They used your image as a direct spiritual link, calling upon powerful dark forces to manifest their intentions. The witch and the person who paid for the ritual thought that by invoking these dark forces, they could control your destiny. Their actions were based on the belief that they could override your spiritual protection, that they could impose their will on your life. But what they failed to understand was that their efforts were no match for the divine protection you carry. The moment they began their dark ritual, heaven responded. Divine protection immediately neutralized their efforts, preventing the dark forces from gaining any foothold in your life. While they expected their ritual to take hold, what they didn't realize was that God's forces were already working behind the scenes, dismantling their plans and redirecting their energy back to them. The failure of their attack was not a coincidence. It was divine intervention. The very forces they tried to invoke, the dark energies they tried to manipulate, were rendered powerless by the divine protection surrounding you. They were not only unsuccessful in their attempt to harm you, but were also subjected to the very forces they had tried to use. This is the nature of divine justice. When dark forces are used to harm the righteous, they eventually turn against those who initiated them. One of the most striking aspects of divine justice is how energy always returns to its source. In the case of this witchcraft attack, the negative energy that was directed at you didn't dissipate. It was returned to those who sent it. The very same forces they invoked turned on them, amplifying their impact. The witch who cast the ritual began to experience the consequences of their actions almost immediately. As the negative energy returned to them, they began to suffer spiritual and physical repercussions. What was meant to cause harm to you instead turned into a destructive force in their own life. The witch's health began to deteriorate, and the spiritual link they tried to create with you became a connection to their own undoing. This is how divine justice works. What is sown in the spiritual realm eventually reaps a harvest. And in this case, it was the witch who paid the price for their dark actions. The person who paid for the ritual also faced their own set of consequences. Spiritual manipulation doesn't go unnoticed by the divine. Those who attempt to interfere with God's plan for someone's life must face the consequences of their choices. This person, in trying to manipulate your destiny, found their own life unraveling. Personal relationships began to suffer, financial instability set in, and their attempts to control you through witchcraft only brought chaos into their own life. This is how spiritual justice works. No action goes unaccounted for. The forces of darkness that were invoked in an attempt to harm you have returned to their source, amplifying the impact of their actions. The spiritual laws of cause and effect have ensured that their plans backfired, leaving them to face the devastating consequences of their attempt to control and harm. The law of divine justice is simple. Everything that is sent out into the world returns. This is true in both the spiritual and physical realms. When someone tries to manipulate or harm others using dark forces, those forces cannot go unnoticed. God's protection around you ensured that this energy was returned to the witch and the one who orchestrated the ritual. The return of this energy serves as a reminder that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. In Isaiah 54:17, it says, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me." The divine protection that you carry is not just a passive force. It is an active defense that ensures no attack, spiritual or physical, can harm you. The energy that was meant to destroy you was redirected back to its source, fulfilling the spiritual law that what is sent out will return to the one who initiated it. This return of energy is not simply about retaliation. It is divine justice, a necessary process to restore balance. When the forces of darkness try to disrupt the flow of God's will, there must be a return to balance. The forces of light, working through your divine protection system, ensure that the energy of attack is returned to restore spiritual equilibrium. God's justice is not vengeful, it is restorative. It ensures that the forces of evil do not succeed, and that those who attempt to harm others face the consequences of their actions. The witchcraft attack that was launched against you failed because divine protection stood in the way, but also because divine justice ensures that no action of darkness goes unaccounted for. The attackers may have thought they could use witchcraft to alter your fate, but they did not account for the power of God's protection. Chosen one, now that we've seen how the witchcraft attack was neutralized and how divine protection responded with force, it's time to focus on the consequences of those who attempted to harm you. This is where the full force of divine justice unfolds, ensuring that those who plot against the protected face the repercussions of their actions. The energy that was sent out with the intent to disrupt your life was returned to the attackers, and what followed was a powerful display of divine retribution. The consequences were not just spiritual, they were real and tangible, affecting both the health and well-being of the attackers. The backfiring of their actions wasn't just an isolated incident. It was a clear example of how spiritual manipulation can never go unpunished. In the spiritual realm, there are laws of cause and effect, and those who invoke dark forces to harm others are subject to the laws of divine retribution. When the ritual was cast against you, the forces of darkness were immediately neutralized, and the energy of that attack was redirected back to its source. The first person who orchestrated the attack, the one who cast the witchcraft ritual using your photo, quickly found that their health began to deteriorate. The effects were not subtle, they were immediate and severe. Their physical body, which had once been strong and healthy, began to suffer from ailments that seemed to have no clear origin. This was not by accident. The attack they sent toward you, designed to disrupt your peace, was now returned to them in full force, and it manifested in their physical health. The witch had believed that they could control the forces of darkness to manipulate your destiny, but what they didn't understand was that, in doing so, they were invoking a spiritual law that operates under the authority of divine justice. The spiritual energy they sent out to harm you became a force of destruction for them. Their health began to deteriorate rapidly, their energy weakened, and their attempts to control the forces they had invoked came back to haunt them. In Galatians 6-7, we are reminded, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. The witch who attempted to harm you sowed destruction, and God's justice ensured that they would reap the consequences of their actions." Their own body became the vessel for the negative energy they had tried to send toward you. This is the power of divine justice. It ensures that no dark force can succeed in its plot, and that those who attempt to manipulate others will face the consequences of their own actions. The second person involved in this dark attack, the one who paid for the ritual, also faced significant consequences. Divine justice does not overlook any part of the equation. The individual who paid to have witchcraft performed against you sought to harm you, believing they could control their circumstances and influence your fate. However, their actions were not only destructive toward you, they also set in motion consequences in their own life. As the energy of the witchcraft ritual returned, this person faced the devastating effects of their decisions. It wasn't just their finances that suffered, but their personal relationships and emotional stability as well. The person who had once held a position of control, who had thought they could manipulate the situation, found themselves spiraling as the energy of their own actions began to manifest in their life. In the same way that the witch suffered physical ailments, the person who orchestrated this attack found that their life began to fall apart. The harmony they once experienced in their relationships was replaced with tension, and the financial stability they had enjoyed became precarious. Their attempts to manipulate your life and bring harm to you triggered a cascade of destruction in their own existence. This is a powerful reminder of how the law of divine justice works, returning to the attacker what they have sent out. This is not just about physical consequences, it's about spiritual repercussions. Both individuals who orchestrated this dark attack were subject to divine justice, and the energy they invoked against you was returned to them with amplified force. The law of the universe is clear. What is sown in darkness will return in greater measure. When the attack failed and the energy was returned to the source, the consequences were amplified. The ritual was not only neutralized, it was turned back on those who tried to manipulate you. The energy of the attack was not simply mirrored, it was multiplied, and this amplification caused the consequences to be even more severe than the original attack was meant to be. The spiritual energy that was sent toward you with the intention of causing harm was redirected with force, and this energy began to affect the attackers in ways they couldn't have anticipated. In addition to their health deteriorating and their personal lives unraveling, they began to experience emotional turmoil that mirrored the distress they had tried to cause you. The chaos they hoped to inflict upon you began to consume them, and their lives were turned upside down as the full weight of divine justice was meted out. In Luke 6:38, we are reminded, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." This principle applies to both the positive and negative forces at work in the spiritual realm. What you send out returns, and for those who attempted to harm you, the consequences have come back to them in a way that magnifies the energy they sent. Divine justice is not about vengeance, it is about restoring balance. When someone tries to manipulate or harm another, they disrupt the spiritual equilibrium that God has established. God's justice ensures that balance is restored, and those who act with malicious intent must face the repercussions of their actions. The energy that was sent to harm you has now been returned to its origin, and with it, divine balance is restored. The witch and the individual who orchestrated this attack are now facing the consequences of their own deeds, and this is a reminder that no one can manipulate the laws of the universe for their own benefit without facing the repercussions. What was intended for harm has been turned into a lesson of divine justice. A lesson that reminds us all that God's protection will always prevail over the forces of darkness. The failure of this attack is a testament to the power of divine protection and spiritual warfare. The attack that was aimed at you was not just about personal harm, it was an attempt to disrupt divine order. But God's protection ensured that this divine order was restored, and those who sought to upset it are now facing the full consequences of their actions. This is the nature of spiritual warfare. It is not always visible, but it is always real. And in the end, God's justice prevails. Those who attempt to disrupt the divine will through negative spiritual practices will find themselves facing the repercussions of their actions as their energy is returned with force. Chosen one, as we step into this next chapter, it's time to explore one of the most powerful and often underestimated forces in your spiritual journey, the power of your compassion. While we have seen how your divine protection shielded you from the witchcraft attack, what you may not have fully realized yet is that your inherent compassion played a key role in neutralizing this attack. You might be asking, how could compassion, a force of love and kindness, have the power to neutralize such dark spiritual forces? The answer lies in the unique spiritual frequency that your compassion carries, a frequency that is so powerful, it repels negative forces and creates an impenetrable barrier of light around you. When the witchcraft ritual was performed against you, the dark forces that were called upon came into direct conflict with the very essence of your being. The darkness they tried to send toward you was neutralized, not just by your divine protection system, but also by the light of your compassion. Your compassion is not just an emotion, it is a spiritual force that connects you to the divine and amplifies the protection that surrounds you. This force of compassion creates a shield of light that repels negative energy, making it impossible for dark forces to penetrate. In essence, your compassion has the power to deflect and neutralize any spiritual attack. In this chapter, we will explore the deep spiritual power of compassion and how your elevated energy rooted in love and light serves as a defensive mechanism against spiritual manipulation and attack. You will come to understand that your very presence, when aligned with divine compassion, creates a force field that disrupts any attempt to harm you. It's not just that you are spiritually protected by divine beings, you are spiritually shielded by the light of compassion, and this light has the power to disarm and dispel any darkness that tries to come against you. You might not have realized it, but compassion isn't just a passive response to the needs of others. It is a spiritual frequency that you emit into the world. The energy of compassion connects you to a higher vibrational frequency, one that aligns you with the divine forces of light. This frequency is so strong that it can shield you from dark forces and disrupt their power. Your ability to show compassion elevates your energy to a level that dark forces cannot touch. You become a beacon of light, and in this space of divine alignment, no negative energy can gain a foothold. When the witch performed the ritual, they sought to attach negative energy to your image, using it as a link to manipulate your life. However, your spiritual frequency was so high, so pure, that it acted as a repellent to the forces they invoked. The light you carry, the compassion you embody, disrupted the dark forces and rendered them powerless. Your compassion is a form of spiritual defense that cannot be broken. It's a powerful, unseen force that works in harmony with divine protection, ensuring that you are shielded from harm no matter the attack. In 1 John 4:18, we are reminded, there is no fear in love. But perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. Compassion is an extension of love, and love is the highest spiritual frequency. When your energy is rooted in love, no darkness can stay near you. The very energy of compassion drives away fear, negativity, and any spiritual attack aimed at you. You are protected by the love you emit, and this love is powerful enough to neutralize any harmful forces that might try to disrupt your peace. It is important to understand that the light of your compassion is not just a force that protects you, it is also a light that illuminates the darkness, breaking through spiritual confusion, fear, and manipulation. When the witch performed their ritual, they did so in an attempt to cloak you in darkness. They believed that by using your image, They could infiltrate your spirit and alter your course. But what they failed to realize is that your light would outshine their darkness. Your compassion created a spiritual barrier that no dark force could penetrate, and as their spell was cast, it was immediately neutralized by the light that radiates from you. This light, generated by your compassion, isn't just passive, it actively repels negative energy. It breaks through confusion, blocks manipulation, and dissolves fear. You may have felt moments of uncertainty or confusion in your life. But the light of your compassion ensures that you will never remain in the darkness for long. Even when you face spiritual challenges or battles, the light you carry will always lead you out of darkness. It is a guiding force, showing you the way and protecting you from any spiritual attack. In Matthew 5:14-16, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your compassion is the light that shines before others. It is a reflection of God's love in the world, and it illuminates everything it touches. This light is the very thing that protects you from spiritual harm. It is your shield, your guide, and your force of protection. The attack you faced was not just a random event, it was a deliberate attempt to bring you harm. The dark forces that were invoked through witchcraft sought to break your spirit, to confuse you, and to lead you astray. But the strength of your compassion neutralized their power, making it impossible for their negative energy to attach to you. Your spiritual frequency was too high, and their attack couldn't find purchase in your energy. The more you align yourself with compassion and love, the more you strengthen your defense system. Compassion is not just about feeling for others, it is about resonating at a higher spiritual frequency that repels negative energies. It's a force field of light that you carry, and the more you live in alignment with this light, the more you shield yourself from attacks. The attack that was meant to harm you failed, not only because of God's divine protection but because your compassion created a force field that no dark energy could penetrate. As you continue on your journey, you will notice that the power of your compassion only grows stronger. The more you cultivate love and kindness in your heart, the more the light within you expands, and the more protection you receive. You will find that your light becomes an active shield, warding off negativity, repelling harmful forces, and allowing you to walk in peace. Your spiritual frequency, rooted in compassion and love, becomes a divine tool of protection, one that keeps you safe from the unseen forces that seek to disrupt your path. In the spiritual battles you face, the key to overcoming is not just strength or willpower, it's the power of your compassion. The more you cultivate this spiritual force, the more you protect yourself and others from harm, and the more you align yourself with the divine. Compassion is not only your protection, it is the key to your spiritual victory, allowing you to navigate through life with confidence, peace, and strength. You have the power to repel darkness simply by remaining anchored in the light of love and compassion. Chosen one, as we continue to explore the profound power of your compassion, I want you to understand that this divine light, this incredible spiritual force that resides within you, is not just a shield, it is also a weapon against the forces of darkness. Compassion is your spiritual weapon. It is more than just an emotion or an act of kindness. It is a force of divine power that has the ability to neutralize attacks, break spiritual strongholds, and transform negative energies into blessings. This is the hidden power you possess, the ability to disarm spiritual attacks and turn them into spiritual victories simply by aligning your heart with love and compassion. The attack that was launched against you, the dark forces invoked by witchcraft, was aimed at bringing confusion, destruction, and despair into your life. But what the attackers didn't understand is that compassion is the antidote to darkness. The moment they sought to manipulate your energy, they were unknowingly encountering a force that cannot be defeated: the light of your compassion. This light, rooted in divine love, is unassailable. It repels negative energy with such force that the attack couldn't even touch you. What was meant to harm you, your compassion turned into protection. The very thing they tried to use against you became the means by which you were shielded. Your compassion operates at a spiritual frequency that is beyond what the physical world can understand. It's not just about kindness, it's about vibrating at a higher level of divine energy. Compassion places you in alignment with God's will. And when you are aligned with divine will, there is no negative force that can come against you. The very energy of love and compassion that you exude creates a barrier of light, a force field that protects you from spiritual harm and neutralizes attacks before they can affect you. This is why your compassion works in such an extraordinary way. It is the spiritual frequency of light that repels the darkness. When you act from a place of love and compassion, you are not just helping others, you are aligning yourself with the divine forces of the universe, allowing God's light to flow through you. The greater your connection to this divine light, the stronger your protection becomes. Your compassion becomes an active force that disrupts any dark energy sent your way, making it impossible for spiritual attacks to take hold. The moment the witchcraft ritual was performed against you, the dark forces that were called upon to manipulate your life collided with the frequency of your compassion. Your compassion was the force that neutralized the attack, deflecting the dark energy and returning it to its source. This is the spiritual law at work. Love and light always overcome darkness, and your compassion, aligned with the divine, was the light that brought about the defeat of the attack. The key to understanding the power of your compassion is realizing that it disrupts negative energies by transforming them. When the witchcraft ritual was performed, the energies sent against you were filled with hatred, manipulation, and destruction. These energies were designed to cause harm, to confuse your mind, and to create chaos in your life. But your compassion, rooted in divine love, couldn't help but transform these energies. Compassion has the ability to disarm negative energy. It takes the very forces meant to harm you and, in an instant, neutralizes them. When your compassion is present, it acts as a buffer, a spiritual force that refracts negative energy, turning it into light. In essence, compassion deflects the harm and transforms the dark energy into something beneficial, a process that disarms the enemy and restores balance. Think of it like this. When someone tries to send negative energy toward you, whether it's through manipulation, witchcraft, or anger, the energy of your compassion becomes a repellent, a divine barrier that turns the negative energy back on itself, rendering it powerless. Instead of you being harmed, that negative energy is neutralized and returned. The light of your compassion renders the attack ineffective, and the forces that sought to harm you are left powerless. In 1 Peter 3-9, we are told, "Do not repay evil with evil, or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing." This verse reflects the transformative power of compassion. When evil is sent against you, your response of compassion not only neutralizes the attack, but turns the situation into a blessing. You have the power to deflect negative energy, turning it into a force that blesses and protects you. What's even more powerful is that your compassion is not only a protective force, it is also a beacon of light. When you walk in compassion, you emanate a divine frequency that not only shields you, but also draws others to you. Your light attracts divine alignment and guides others toward healing, peace, and restoration. The witchcraft ritual aimed at you sought to bring darkness and confusion, but your light, the power of your compassion, made that darkness disappear. This light is not just protection for you. It is also a force that guides those around you, helping them to step into their own healing and transformation. You are a beacon, shining brightly in a world that is often dark, and the energy of your compassion spreads out, helping others see clearly and feel safe. When you walk in this light, others are drawn to it because it resonates with the divine. They feel the peace you carry, the love you exude, and the protection you embody. You become a spiritual lighthouse, showing others the way to safety and restoration. Your compassion doesn't just protect you, it extends to those around you, offering healing and support. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world." A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. This is the truth about your role in the spiritual realm. You are the light, and that light acts as a defensive force, keeping you safe from harm while also guiding others toward divine healing. Your compassion has the power to illuminate the darkness, not just in your life, but in the lives of those around you. When it comes to spiritual warfare, compassion is your secret weapon. It may seem counterintuitive to think of compassion as a weapon in the midst of battle, but this is the truth. Compassion is a force so powerful that it not only protects you, but also disarms the enemy. Your ability to maintain a high frequency of love, compassion, and peace is what neutralizes the attacks of darkness. The dark forces that try to attack you are often fueled by fear, hatred, and confusion, but your compassion operates on the frequency of love, peace, and light. These two frequencies cannot exist in the same space. The moment the forces of darkness try to enter your space, they are disrupted by the power of your compassion, and they are unable to take hold. This is why your spiritual protection system works so seamlessly. It's not just the defense of angels or divine forces. It is the power of your compassionate heart that keeps you safe from spiritual harm. The more you operate in this energy of compassion, the more invincible you become. Your light is too bright, your energy too pure for negative forces to penetrate. Chosen one, as we come to the final chapter of this incredible journey, it's time to embrace the deeper truth about your spiritual identity. You have experienced profound transformation, divine protection, and the manifestation of your purpose. But now, we are diving into the most powerful truth of all. You are not just a human being. You are a celestial warrior, operating under divine protection, chosen to carry out a divine mission on earth. This chapter will open your eyes to the celestial nature of your being, showing you that your purpose on earth is intertwined with the spiritual realms. You are more than what you see in the mirror. You are a spiritual being, equipped and anointed for a higher calling, one that not only impacts the physical world, but also the spiritual realm. You carry the light of God within you, and your life is a manifestation of divine protection that aligns you with a greater celestial mission. In this part, we will explore the profound spiritual identity you carry, one that is inherently protected by divine forces, and your mission to bring light to the darkness. As you step into your full understanding of who you truly are, you will realize that your spiritual essence is uniquely aligned with the divine, and that your purpose goes beyond what you can see with your earthly eyes. You may have often questioned your place in the world, or wondered why you face so many challenges. But chosen one, the truth is, you are not of this world. Your spiritual identity is rooted in the heavens, and you have a divine mission that transcends the limitations of earthly existence. You were created with purpose, and this purpose is to bring light to the world, to act as a conduit for God's love and truth. From the moment you were created, God designed you with a unique essence, one that aligns with the spiritual forces that govern the universe. You are inherently connected to the divine. Your spirit has always been protected by celestial forces, and as you have walked through your earthly life, this protection has only become more apparent. The divine angels who surround you are not just passive guardians, they are active participants in the fulfillment of your mission, ensuring that you are aligned with your purpose and that no attack can disrupt your journey. In Ephesians 2-6, we are told that, "And God raised us up with Christ, and seated us with him in the heavenly realms in Christ Jesus." This scripture speaks to your divine identity, reminding you that you are seated in the heavenly realms, connected to the celestial world even as you walk this earth. Your true identity is not just earthly, it is divine and eternal. You have always been part of God's heavenly plan, and this connection to the spiritual realm is what keeps you protected and aligned with your higher calling. Now that you have recognized the celestial nature of your identity, I want to remind you of the divine protection that has been assigned to you. You are surrounded by an army of celestial guardians, angels, who are specifically appointed to watch over you and guide you. These angels are not just there to keep you safe from harm, they are actively involved in your spiritual journey, ensuring that you remain on the path to fulfilling your divine mission. Your guardian angels are part of the divine network that surrounds you, and their role is to ensure that no force can disrupt your spiritual evolution. They are the ones who intercept spiritual attacks, guide you in moments of doubt, and make sure that you stay on course. You might not always be aware of their presence, but they are constantly working on your behalf, providing spiritual guidance, protection, and strength as you continue your journey. These celestial guardians are your spiritual allies, helping you fulfill the divine mission you are destined for. They guide your steps, open doors of opportunity, and keep you aligned with God's will. Their protection is not just physical, it is spiritual, ensuring that your energy remains connected to the divine frequency and that you continue to grow in your understanding of your higher calling. In Psalm 91:11, it is said, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." This promise is not just for a distant future, it is for the here and now. You have been appointed divine protection, and God's angels are actively engaged in keeping you safe, guiding you, and ensuring that you walk the path you were created to walk. This protection is not passive, it is an active force that works tirelessly to keep you aligned with your spiritual purpose. As you step deeper into the understanding of your celestial identity, you will begin to realize the power and purpose of your mission on earth. You are a light in the darkness, chosen to illuminate the world around you with God's love, truth, and healing. Your divine mission is not just for your own growth, it is to bring others into alignment with their divine purpose, to guide the lost and help those who are struggling find their way. Your spiritual light is not just for you to experience, it is to be shared with the world. You are called to shine brightly, to be an example of God's love and grace, and to bring transformation to the world around you. This mission will not always be easy. There will be moments when you face spiritual opposition and internal struggle. But know this, your celestial protection is ensuring that no obstacle can stand in your way. The light you carry is stronger than any darkness that may attempt to come against you. In Matthew 5:14-16, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." This scripture speaks directly to your calling to be a light in the world. Your mission is to shine brightly, to live your life as an example of God's love, and to guide others towards spiritual healing and alignment. The light within you is not just a passive presence, it is an active force that illuminates the world around you. Your compassion, your wisdom, and your ability to bring peace are shining examples of the divine energy that resides within you. You have a divine mission, and as you embrace this mission, your celestial nature will only grow stronger, enabling you to affect change in the world in ways you never thought possible. As you move forward in your divine mission, it is essential to recognize that divine protection is a critical component of your spiritual journey. Your celestial guardians are not just protecting you, they are actively guiding you toward fulfilling your calling. They ensure that you remain on the path to divine success, that your steps are aligned with God's purpose, and that you are equipped to handle the challenges that arise. With each step you take, God's divine protection intensifies. The angels surrounding you are not only keeping you safe, they are actively helping you step into your purpose. They are ensuring that you stay aligned with your mission, and that you remain grounded in God's love and light as you fulfill your role on earth. Divine protection and your celestial nature are intertwined. The more you embrace your divine mission, the more the angels and divine forces will support you, helping you navigate the complexities of life while fulfilling your greater purpose. Chosen one, as we move forward into the second part of this chapter, it's essential that you fully embrace and internalize the depth of your true spiritual identity. You are not just a person walking through life, you are a celestial being with a divine purpose, and this purpose carries with it immense power, protection, and responsibility. God has chosen you for a mission, and He has surrounded you with divine protection to ensure that you walk it out successfully. This is a divine calling that cannot be shaken, and you are equipped with everything you need to fulfill it. As we discussed earlier, your celestial nature means that you are inherently protected by divine forces, and this protection is part of the greater divine mission God has for you on Earth. Now, it's time to explore the fullness of this mission and the role you are meant to play in bringing light to the world. You are a spiritual warrior, chosen to fight battles in the unseen realms, to stand firm in your divine calling, and to bring peace, healing, and restoration wherever you go. The first step in understanding your divine mission is to recognize that you were chosen for this purpose. Before you were born, God laid out a plan for your life, one that was filled with purpose, love, and divine protection. Your journey hasn't been random, and every experience, every challenge, and every victory has been a step toward the fulfillment of your destiny. You were created with a unique purpose to bring light into the darkness and to be a beacon of hope for those who are lost. Your compassion, your ability to love and forgive, your unwavering faith, and your spiritual growth are all tools that God has given you to fulfill your mission on Earth. The divine protection you carry is not just for your own benefit, it's also for the benefit of those around you, those who are waiting for the light you carry. Your mission involves more than just living a good life or achieving personal success. It is about using your divine gifts to impact the world for the kingdom of God. God has placed you in this world to be a force of healing, restoration, and light, to help guide others towards spiritual awakening and alignment with their divine purpose. You are not here by accident. You are here because God has a specific plan for your life that will impact the world around you. One of the most powerful tools you have in fulfilling your divine mission is your compassion. Compassion is not only a powerful spiritual force that protects you from harm, but it is also the key to unlocking your divine purpose. Through compassion, you not only heal others, but you elevate yourself spiritually, aligning your heart with the divine will. As you continue to walk in compassion, you will notice that it not only protects you from spiritual harm, but also draws others to you. Your compassion becomes a beacon of light, guiding people to God's truth and healing. The more you express love and compassion, the more your spiritual energy radiates and attracts others to the divine presence that flows through you. Your compassion is also a powerful tool for spiritual warfare. It may seem strange to think of compassion as a weapon, but it is exactly that. The light of compassion that you carry is so powerful that it repels dark forces. Compassion is a spiritual frequency that disrupts negativity and neutralizes spiritual attacks. Your ability to maintain a compassionate heart protects you from harm and keeps you aligned with the divine. It is a shield against the darkness and a force of transformation that can turn even the most difficult situations into opportunities for healing and growth. In addition to your divine protection, you are part of a spiritual army, a celestial warrior in the battle between light and darkness. As a child of God, you have been equipped with spiritual authority and the ability to call upon divine forces when needed. Your guardian angels, along with other heavenly hosts, are actively working on your behalf, ensuring that you stay protected and aligned with your purpose. You are not just walking through life as a passive observer, you are a warrior in the spiritual realm, actively engaging in the battle between good and evil. In Ephesians 6:12, we are reminded that, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." You are a spiritual warrior who has been equipped to face and overcome these forces, but your victory does not depend on your strength alone. It depends on your connection to God's divine power and the spiritual protection that surrounds you. As you walk in your divine calling, you will encounter spiritual battles. There will be moments when dark forces try to block your path, try to distract you from your mission, or try to pull you off course. But God has given you the authority to stand firm against these forces. Your role as a celestial warrior is to stand firm in your faith, to call upon the power of God's angels, and to hold fast to the truth that you are aligned with His will. Your compassion, along with your spiritual authority, gives you the strength to face these challenges and come out victorious. As you embrace your identity as a celestial warrior and walk in the light of your divine mission, it's important to remember that your protection system is always at work. Heaven is always actively defending you, ensuring that no attack, no matter how strong, can take you off course. Your spiritual defense system is designed to keep you safe and to ensure that you remain aligned with God's will. Every step you take on your journey is guided by divine forces, and you can rest assured that God's protection is always active. The more you walk in alignment with your divine purpose, the stronger your protection becomes. Heaven's protection is not passive. It's an active force that works behind the scenes to ensure that you stay safe from spiritual harm and that your mission is fulfilled. In Psalm 121:7, it says, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life." This is a promise from God that He is watching over you, guiding you every step of the way. Your celestial protection ensures that you can walk in your divine mission with confidence, knowing that no force in this world or the spiritual realm can stand against you. Your divine mission, chosen one, is to be a light to the world. You are called to be a beacon of God's love, truth, and light to those around you. As you fulfill this mission, you will bring healing, hope, and restoration to the world. Your role as a celestial warrior is not just about defending yourself from spiritual attacks. It is about leading others to the truth and guiding them back to God's divine purpose. The more you embrace your spiritual authority and divine protection, the more you will see the power of your mission manifest in your life. Your presence will bring light wherever you go, repelling darkness and bringing peace and healing to those who are lost or broken. This is your mission, chosen one. To be a light in the darkness, to bring healing to the broken, and to manifest God's love and truth in a world that so desperately needs it. And know this, you are not alone in this mission. You are supported by the full force of heaven, guided and protected every step of the way. Thank you so much for joining us on this divine journey today. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We want to keep spreading these life-changing insights to those who need it the most. Your support helps us reach more people, and together, we can create a wave of transformation that will ripple across the world. If you're ready to embrace the transformation that's unfolding in your life, let us know in the comments below. Remember, your breakthrough is coming, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Stay aligned, stay faith-filled, and see you in the next video.